God-shaped vacuum that only God can fulfill. Peter Kraft again puts it this way: all men seek happiness. There are no exceptions. Yet all men complain. A test which has gone on for so long now without any pause or change really should convince us that we are incapable of attaining that goal by our own efforts. The infinite emptiness can be filled only with an infinite object. That was Jesus' plan from the beginning. That's the whole point of Easter. Jesus came that we might have life and have it to the fullness. He came to fill that empty vacuum in us with his Holy Spirit. His death and his resurrection allowed him to enter the heart of all who believed and begin to give them a sense of that fullness. In fact, after his resurrection in Luke chapter 24, verse 49, he says, "Now I will send you the Holy Spirit just as my Father promised. But stay here in the city until the Holy Spirit comes and fills you." Fills you. The risen Jesus can dwell in that empty hole in your life. He alone can fulfill that empty hole in your life. And that's why Paul, when he prayed for people, like in Ephesians chapter 3, says, "I pray that they would finally understand the fullness of God, which can fill that amazing hole." In fact, the phrase he uses is that you might be filled with all the fullness of life. Filled with fullness. Are you filled? You see, Christianity is about being possessed by the Holy Spirit. It's not about a tune-up. It's not about, let's get people a little morally better and then they'll finally be fulfilled. But Jesus is saying, no, you cannot fulfill yourself. You must be born again. Born of the Spirit. Only the Spirit can fill that which is spiritually empty. Now, that does not mean that we will, after we become followers of Jesus, no longer feel emptiness in this life. In fact, quite the opposite. Paul argues in Romans chapter 8, verse 22 and following, that all of creation is groaning like an empty stomach, groaning for that day when we'll be revealed as the children of God. Right now, Paul says all we get is an appetizer. We get a foretaste, or biblical word, the first fruits. Not the whole crop yet, but we get a taste, enough to go, that's where fullness comes from. But we will not experience the fullness that God has designed us for until we experience what he has planned for us in heaven. Heaven is about the fulfillment of the human being's soul. C.S. Lewis, the great English scholar, used to say he wondered if people really longed for heaven. And then he said, on second thought, the more I think about it,